What do you mean?
What?
What are you trying to say? Like, I don't want to get lost in there. Deborah Grace, thank you so much for the super chat.
Awesome. 666. Excellent.
Just a gift for thoughtful skepticism. Grateful for it all. Thank you,
Cool.
sweetie. I'm grateful for her. She has a book called Crucifying the Messiah, or Crucifying the Bible. I apologize. Crucifying the Bible.
Oh, I didn't know this.
It's
Tell me
a
about this.
really good book. Really, really good book. You should check it out. She's not like a scholar, like, but she's really an autodidact and like delved into things. And she had this controversial chapter. People were trying to hang her on a cross. I'm not kidding you, for the chapter.
Ironically.
She made a claim that David may have been a bisexual king. Now, according to the text.
That's actually not non-mainstream. That's actually been a mainstream argument.
I didn't know that at first. I had never heard of this. So then I do the right thing. I messaged Joel Baden because I started catching hell for this as well. Joel Baden responded. The guy who wrote a whole book on King David. Okay. The JEDP documentary hypothesis scholar. This guy's a Hebrew Bible scholar. He said, the language is quite ambiguous, and I think there's definitely something going on there.
It's in the mainstream literature. There's a lot of scholars who've thought about this. It's like, and it is controversial. Like, how dare you suggest? And it's like, well, honestly, this is before. I mean, so this is the other thing. Is like the timeline of the Bible is not the timeline of the Bible, right? So like the Bible is written as if Moses came down from the mountain with the Levitical laws against homosexuality before,
actually when Moses,
right before David, but it's the other way around. Yep. So if you notice, like it's one of the later royalties, one of the later kings, where they discover these lost books of Moses, and that's where Deuteronomy and stuff suddenly appears, right? So these books get written after the reign of David. So the stories of David are written before they start basically harping on the gays, right? So by the time they get to like being anti-gay, that's long after the stories about David have already started circulating. Whether David existed or not, it doesn't even matter, right? So because the stories existed long before this. So even the actual chronology
Gilgamesh may have been goes back. I'm not sure about that, but I've heard that.
Oh, right. Yes. No, that's also a mainstream discussion too about Enkidu. Is Gilgamesh and Enkidu homosexual narrative? And it sounds like it. Yeah, it's entirely possible. And because the ignominy didn't exist back then, right? That is a later perversion of human thinking, is to be against homosexuality and so violently against it. But that came later. So it's entirely possible that David could have been bisexual and no one cared, right? Because this is before people started giving a shit about that. Anyway, so there's nothing non-mainstream about that. That's actually in the field.
Clip this, Deborah. Clip this. Thank you so much. Joseph